All right, so let's take a look at these images. Where is this? Do you have any idea? This is in Montana. This is the Lewis and Clark Caverns, and I'm sure that some of you have been there. And what we're going to look at today is how do caves, or caverns in particular, how do they form? All right, so let's get right to it. On your note sheet, when you were taking weathering and erosion notes, I told you you're going to fill all this front page in, and I was wrong. You actually have to do this part right here, which is about caves. So we'll fill that in right now. How do we get a cave? How do they form? First, we need rainwater to react with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and the combination of those two form a weak acid called carbonic acid. And then that acid is carried by the water underground, typically into rocks like limestone. And it eats away, reacts with, and eats away, and opens up spaces in the limestone, creating the caverns. Okay. There is another factor of this where it's carrying calcite-rich water with it, which I'll talk about later, which leads to all these cave features, which you're taking a look at. So the question is this weathering and erosion that forms caverns? Think about that for a minute. And because it's water and it's acid, we know it's chemical weathering. Okay. So what are these cave features, and what are they called? These are called speleothems. It's a fancy term for all the cave features that you see. And they're created when calcite in the water that's seeping through in the caves, it's flowing through there, it's got calcite in it. As it flows over something or drips on something, it leaves behind a thin film of calcite. And over hundreds and thousands of years, that calcite builds up and creates all these different features. So you're going to fill out this diagram here on your notes here, labeling the features. And here's some that we're going to talk about. A stalagmite is a cave feature that forms from the floor going upward as water drips on it. And you can remember that by saying it might reach the ceiling. A stalactite is a feature that looks like a tooth, of course, and it forms from the ceiling down. You can remember it by it has to hold on tight to the ceiling. Now, a column is when a stalactite and a stalagmite meet, and they form a continuous feature from the floor to the ceiling. A flowstone, which is often called draperies and has a lot of other names, but it's a feature that kind of looks like a frozen waterfall, if you will, on the side of a cave. And soda straws look exactly like what I'm talking about. They're hollow in the center, they're straight, and calcite-rich water drips over them and through them, and eventually will seal them off. These are like the precursor to stalactites. So these are your speleothems and how caves form. You're going to take a look at caves in a lot more detail than I just did in your assignment today. You're going to watch a couple of videos and go to a website and complete the worksheet. Good luck.